Hello, how's it doing today? We're talking about Brexit. I know people are fed up listening to it. I know people now are fed up, absolutely dreaded hearing about it, and fed up listening to it about it. And I understand that, and I really do apologise for me having to speak about it, but I have to speak about it because we can't deny the truth, I suppose you could say, that what is happening at the moment is is unbelievable, I suppose you could say. That the Irish state, the Republic of Ireland, could face actions if there's no deal Brexit because of the UK wanting to leave the EU, which to me doesn't make any sense to anybody who's watching. Like, there's going to be huge problems, as we all know. If they leave with no deal, that means there's nothing. They haven't got a single market. They haven't got anything. And obviously, the EU have made it very clear the backstop will stay, no matter what. Um, so that's going to stay. There's not going to be any change of that, and I don't think the EU are very fond of changing, to be honest. So obviously, I really have to say to the people in Ireland, we are going to face heavy times. I'm not going to lie to anybody. We're going to face heavier times, but I say this as a consolation to the Irish people and to everybody. We have went through worse times. We have went through famine. We went through oppression. We went through everything. The Irish people went through everything. And I have no doubt in my mind, no matter if it's hard or soft Brexit, no matter what it is, no matter if there's not even a Brexit, we will get through it. We will get through it no matter if the whole country should bankrupt itself because of the UK wanting to leave the EU. We should pick ourselves up and we should build ourselves up again. Because we have went through so much. And so in so difficult time. And I'm sure to God we can get through this. And we have to, but the one thing we need to do, and just say it to people, is to stick together. We need to stick together as everybody in the Republic of Ireland. And we need to say, we didn't vote. We didn't have a vote to say the EU, no, the UK wanted to leave the EU. Nobody in Ireland had a vote except Northern Ireland had a vote, obviously. And obviously they voted to remain, and Scotland voted to remain. And the point I'm echoing at is, that's something like Scotland and Northern Ireland wanted to remain. Majority have wanted to remain. So obviously there's going to be problems there. But obviously, trade into Ireland, the majority of the trade coming into Ireland, consumer goods, your drinking cartons and everything like that, come from England. So obviously they go from probably France, say, or the Netherlands or Belgium, into big ports in England, let's just say. And from England they get shipped to Ireland, or get flown to Ireland, either one. So obviously there has to be some checks, and obviously if there's a hard road, and I have to say this to people, we probably will have to give up the luxury of some people from the Republic of Ireland going over to Northern Ireland to do shopping, because I don't think they'd be too friendly to people coming up just to do shopping in Northern Ireland, the British government, because I'm sure if there is a hard road, there will be some kind of upheaval, I suppose you could say. And that's why I want to say it'd be the best interest in the British government to find something, to find any kind of deal, and to take some kind of deal that will do something better than what they're offering at the moment in time. But obviously, I have to say this, obviously the EU want to punish Britain. We all know that. They want to punish Britain because they're the first country to think about leaving the EU, and nobody's ever thought about it before, at least I don't think so. And, they're going to leave. That's what they voted. The people have voted, and they don't. The France and Germany and the big countries in Europe don't want them to leave. They don't want them to leave, and that's basically the truth. And they want to punish them. They want to punish them as much as they can. So other countries, like, say for the sake of sakes, let's say Sweden in the morning decides, we're going to take our cards and leave. They want to punish them. What to make an example of the UK and say, look, what happened to England? You want your country to end up like that? That's the way they're going to do it. I'm sure that's the way they planned the buses anyway to do it. But obviously, it will be hard. I'm not going to lie to anybody. It will be hard if there's no deal Brexit. It will affect this country. It will affect this country deadly. Obviously, prices will go up across the board for everything. Ireland will be one of the countries affected, devastatingly affected. but as I said, we got through worse. And I really have to say to people, just to keep people's minds at rest, we're the fighting Irish. We have lived through loads of dark times in our history. I'm sure if the prices do go up for everything, even though it will be annoying, I can admit it will be annoying, but we will get through it. No matter the darkness, no matter the place, we get through it. We built every person who went, every immigrant from Ireland who went to America to build America, left with nothing and built their lives over there. And what I mean by that is, if we left with nothing, we can build up again with nothing. Because we are the people who work. We are the Irish people who worked for generations on the land and worked on skyscrapers in America. We can do it. We have to have faith in ourselves. But anyway, as I was saying, it is a huge mess, Brexit. It is a huge mess. And it's obviously going to leave on October the 31st. It is just a mess. And it's hard for me to go through everything. And my apologies, I'm probably not making much sense. But it's a lot. It is a lot. I have a huge amount of things. I wrote in the notebook. And usually I don't write in the notebook what to say, or the points of the ways, like I have a huge page. So obviously, Boris Johnson wants to play mind games with the EU, and the EU wants to play mind games with Boris Johnson, I suppose you could say. Trying to get little points for themselves, I suppose you could say. Because, Boris Johnson has no majority in government. We have to admit that. Even though the Conservatives are in government, they don't have the majority. They don't have the full backing. The DUP obviously is up in the air. They don't know what to do. And obviously they're under a ton of pressure from Northern Ireland because the farmers up there were not too happy with them. And obviously the people in Northern Ireland are not too happy with Sinn Féin or the DUP for taking so long to get an executive up and running. And that's not helping any matters because there's no voice for Northern Ireland apart from the DUP people in Westminster and the SDLP people in Westminster too. And obviously that's a big problem. I really would just say to people, if they had the best mind of the people, and just have to say this, if I was in government, let's say in Northern Ireland, if I was the head of Sinn Féin, let's say Sinn Féin in Northern Ireland, right? And this crisis of the century, supposedly, Brexit is the crisis of the century for this country, because we don't know what could happen, and I really have to say that. I would go into any party with any government if I was head of Sinn Féin, just so the people of Northern Ireland, the people who voted me in before, who voted for Sinn Féin, I would say I'm not going to abandon them at the time of need. I'm going to represent them in the time of need. And that's their time now to really represent the people and to get an executive up and running in Northern Ireland. But I don't think it will work. And it will be 10 or 15 years maybe before even the executive goes back up in Northern Ireland because they just don't want to talk. And that's one thing that's really frustrating people in Northern Ireland, because I've talked to a few people from Northern Ireland and they've said it's really, really annoying because the British government give funding to Northern Ireland, to Scotland, to the parliaments there, and obviously they deal with the local funds for the schools in Northern Ireland and everything like that, public infrastructure and everything like that. So obviously it's annoying too because that's what Westminster at the moment, and they have no say in Northern Ireland, the government in Northern Ireland. So yeah, we're off topic there, but just to say to people in Ireland and to anybody who worries, because I know so many businesses are worrying, and this is the main topic everywhere I go. It's about Brexit and about their business could flatline and they could be homeless, and I understand their concerns. It's really, really unsalty, and I really have to say it straight. Like, you get Fine Gael just beating around the bush and saying, you know what, it could not happen, this could not happen. But I really have to say to people, we don't know. The Irish government doesn't know. We don't know. I don't know what could happen. Like, it could be a deal, there could not be a deal. And I just want to say to people, we have to be prepared for the worst and for the best. And no matter what happens, we have to stick with each other, stay united, and fight on. Like, as I said, we went to America. So many Irish went to America with none, not even a short in the back, right? And they went to America and built their lives up from the ground up. And if necessary, if our economy does flatline, because if it does, let's just say it does, or it deeply affects our economy, that's the best word to use, we will build ourselves up. We have always built ourselves up, and we will never stop building ourselves up. and we can do it. That's all I say to people. We can do it, and not to worry. People should not worry about it, because what will happen? Will happen? But we obviously will find solutions. No matter what happens, we'll find solutions. But obviously, it's October the 31st. We still have a full month nearly before it. So anyway, take your fortune. Sorry I whacked it on for a few minutes. I wanted to get talking about it. I didn't want to talk about it. Honestly, I don't want to talk about Brexit more than I have to. Just the amount of people who want me to talk about it and understand, I suppose. It's very hard for me to understand. It's complicated. It really is very complicated. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I have 6 pages here full of stuff to talk about Brexit, and it's really, really complicated. And I really have to say it's complicated because there's things happening every day, and it's just all over the place. And the British government is obviously disbanded for the last few days. So yeah, take your fortune, subscribe more. Let me know what you take. I'm very confused, I have to say, really, about everything, because to me it looks like it'd be no deal Brexit. To others it might look like there'd be some kind of deal, but I really think that the EU and the UK are on a collision course, to try and ensure, I suppose, that the UK wants to make sure they look big and strong, and they want to do that. The EU wants to punish them as much as they can. So yeah, anyway, take for watching, subscribe for more, and bye.